Cavs were able to tie up the series 1-1 behind LeBron James. Huge offensive output, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. That's the kind of LeBron James I like to see. A lot of people like to see the passing LeBron. To me, I like when he's scoring because I feel like he puts like a lot of pressure on the defense, and basically nobody could guard him. So he has to show his offensive prowess, and that's nasty to me. Like when he's hitting jumpers, getting in the lane, hitting threes, he's just giving you a barrage, and that's what I loved about Jordan. That's what I loved about Kobe. That's what I loved about Iverson. Even though like you like to see guys passing the ball and doing things, getting their teammates involved. There's nothing like watching a superstar get busy with it. Like when you watch Steph going off all them threes and crossing people over, getting to the lane and stuff like that. There's nothing like it. It's just nothing like it. And you could see with the other team, they were a little bit caught like a deer in the headlights, because they're like, what can we do to stop them? Can't stop them. But all that being said, even though I loved seeing that, the Cavs won the game by 3. I know it's kind of like convoluted because Victor Oladipo hit a 3 towards the end. Despite LeBron James' massive output, they did win the game. I'm going to give him credit for that. His teammates suck. LeBron James' teammates need to step up. Ty Lue said it best. They need other guys to step up. Kevin Love supposedly has like a torn ligament in his thumb. So we don't know how much we're going to get from him. It's just, this guy scored 46 points. And the game, even though the Cavs were up like 20 or 16 in the first quarter, it wasn't out of reach for Indiana. One could argue if Victor Oladipo doesn't get in foul trouble early in the game with those 2 ticky-tack fouls, hey, Pacers go up 2-0. So LeBron James and company, they have to really explore that option. Like, hey, we need guys to step up. We need guys to play better. And also Nate McMillan for the Pacers needs to say, hey guys, we got the split. We came to Cleveland to do what we wanted to do, which is still home court advantage. Now we have to protect our home court. Because if Pacers can win the next game, it's going to be a must-win for Cleveland. That puts even more pressure on LeBron to give you another 50, 60-point game. And if it's tied 2-2, it means like how many more 60-point games can LeBron James give you? So that's going to be interesting within itself. I'm really liking the way that these series are shaping out, especially this one. Utah, OKC. Look, man, I told you guys it's gonna be a 7-game series. Part of the reason is that is the ineptitude of OKC's offense. If you look at it, Billy Donovan was unable to get Melo, Paul George, and Westbrook to score down like the last 5 minutes of the game. They scored like 2 points combined, their big three. That's ridiculous. Steven Adams did foul out. But at the end of the day, Steven Adams isn't the engine. Russell Westbrook is, Melo is, and Paul George. But the issue with them comes is Westbrook is taking more shots than Melo and Paul George. Why are you taking more shots than 2 other people that shoot better than you? Makes no sense to me. Makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why it's not working for them, and that's why they lost home court advantage. If you looked at the Utah Jazz during that game in the third quarter, everything was going for the OKC Thunder. You do the thing, Jazz would have folded it up, packed it up, like, look guys, we'll get them next time. They fought. Donovan Mitchell scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. He had 28 points. Ridiculous. That kid's nasty. I didn't even know he was from or he played in Greenwich, Connecticut. Mitchell's definitely playing at a high clip. They got the split, and a lot of things that people are underrated about the Jazz is their defense. They have the number 1 defense, or they ended the season with the number 1 defense in the NBA. So they could lock up, and you could tell by the score of the game. You know what I'm saying? They held their end of the bargain defensively, and it was a low scoring affair. I mean, they scored 100, but it was like down the stretch foul shots and stuff like that. So that was good to see. It's good to see the split. I mean, I predicted a 7-game series, so I think it's gonna go back and forth, back and forth. But OKC is gonna have to figure out something with their offense, where Billy Donovan draws up some plays to make it easier for Westbrook to attack, Melo to attack, Paul George to attack. I would love to see a Carmelo Westbrook pick and roll. I would love to see a Westbrook Paul George pick and roll. I would love to see some action off the wing when Westbrook starts in the corner. Paul George brings up the ball. Westbrook curls to the ball, gets the ball. It's just like a little pick with Paul George. Paul George flares out to the corner. He gets like a little screen from Steven Adams, and Westbrook could either attack the basket or if Paul George is open, get him the ball for three. And then you have Melo in the low block. So it's just like just different sets. Like I would like to see better sets by OKC because if they have struggle scoring, they're gonna lose the series. And I picked them to win the series, but if they can't score the basketball, they're gonna lose the series. Rockets Wolves. Rockets better be very lucky that the Timberwolves can't score. The past two games, it was like 104 to 101, and this one's 102 to 82. The Wolves can't score. Karl Anthony Towns, he scored 5 points. Derrick Rose is actually outscoring him. And I think it's just because he's never been in the playoffs before. He didn't know what to expect. So that's why he's playing poorly. But at the end of the day, it's not just him. It's, Taj Gibson, stuff like that. Like, those guys aren't really putting the ball in the basket. Wiggins had 12 points. I mean, that's not going to cut it. And if you want to talk about 12 points, James Harden had 12. So he's lucky that CP3 bailed them out. And that's kind of the issue with the Rockets that a lot of people are afraid of. They're afraid they're going to fold. And shooting at threes, shooting 50 threes a game is a gimmick that's not going to work, especially against better defensive teams. Think about this. The past couple games, they scored 104 and 102 for the Rockets. Next round, they're going to play a better defensive team. Then after that, the Western Conference Finals, they're going to play an even better defensive team. So, you mean to tell me you feel like you're going to score 120 every game, but you're barely scoring 105 against the Timberwolves? No, I don't believe it. I don't think it's going to happen for them. They're going to have to figure out a way to be, they're going to have to figure out a way to shoot less threes and be more gritty on the defensive end to make sure that they compensate for some of their lack of offense, because it's tiring to shoot threes when you're battling in the playoffs because it's a slower game. It's a more physical game. But if they get to the Western Conference Finals and they think they're going to be scoring 115, 120, no, it's not going to happen because you're not doing it now. And this team was this eighth seed for a reason, and you're barely scoring a lot on them. They're barely scoring too. So I got to give the Rockets credit defensively, but in all honesty, this doesn't look good for their offense, especially with James Harden scoring 12. It's like, are we going to get another Game 6 James Harden where he, elimination game where he just gives you 15 points and a bunch of turnovers? Like, I just don't want to see that from him. CP3 did save the day, but how much more saving are we going to see going forward? Just for the Timberwolves, I just feel bad for them. They can't score. Tom Thibodeau happens to incorporate a more offensive lineup, but at the same time, you put some guys that can score and like Jamal Crawford, but sometimes they can't defend, and that's where the dilemma comes in, because he doesn't want to break the defensive stance for his team or the defensive presence. So let me know how you feel about these series. What was your predictions? Are you enjoying these games?